The world has a new ticket to freedom. Vaccines. You need one to travel, you need one to eat in a diner, and in some places you need a vaccine to get a job. Welcome to the post-pandemic world. Vaccines have become the key to opportunities and freedom. But not every vaccine will do the job. You need approval from the World Health Organization. The technical term is Emergency Use Licensing, or the EUL. So far, 7 vaccines have got this approval: Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Covishield, Johnson & Johnson, Sinopharm and Sinovac. 7. You'll notice one big name that is missing from this list. India's homegrown jab, Covaxin. The WHO still hasn't approved Covaxin, and this is a big worry for Indians. If the WHO okays a jab, it's like a global recognition. Most countries will follow. They can import Covaxin. They can welcome tourists and travelers who got Covaxin. As I said, it's a ticket to freedom. But the WHO is dragging its feet. On Tuesday, they asked Bharat Biotech, the makers of Covaxin, for additional clarifications, basically more data. Their expert committee will meet again on November 3rd. Hopefully by then, there will be a final decision. But what is the cost of this delay? Is this about technicalities? Or is there more to the story? First, let's look at the cost. India has administered more than 118 million doses of Covaxin. Now, assuming all of them are double doses, we are still talking about 59 million people who have taken this jab. 59 million. These people cannot travel abroad. They will have to get multiple COVID tests or quarantine in some cases. Among them are students who want to study abroad, expat workers who returned to India during the pandemic, corporate workers who work for multinationals. A lot of them want to travel, but their plans are on hold because the WHO has not approved Covaxin. It's also the jab that the Indian Prime Minister took. Question number 2. Is this just a technicality? Well, that's what the WHO says. They say no corners will be cut. There must be a thorough evaluation to ensure that the vaccine is quote-unquote safe and effective, which is great. But at what point does protocol become punishment? Here's a list of countries that use Covaxin: Guyana, India, Iran, Mauritius, Mexico, Nepal, Paraguay, the Philippines and Zimbabwe. That's 9 countries that already use Covaxin, plus 2 European nations. They recognize it for travel: Estonia and Greece. Surely this wide usage must count for something. Covaxin's approval process has been a predictable story. The WHO meets, they discuss Covaxin data, they demand more information and schedule another meeting. That's how it goes. And this has been going on since April 2021. That's when Bharat Biotech sought emergency listing 6 months ago. On the 9th of July, the company said all required data had been submitted. The WHO's decision was expected in 6 weeks. As of today, it's been 110 days, that's 15 weeks, and still no decision. Was it the same for other vaccines? Did the WHO keep Moderna and Pfizer waiting? No, it did not. Pfizer got the approval 6 weeks after submitting data, Moderna and AstraZeneca after 9 weeks. Did these other vaccines submit perfect data? No, they did not. Take the 2 Chinese vaccines, for example, Sinopharm and Sinovac. Here's what the WHO wrote about both these jabs, and listen to this carefully. I have the quote. Few older adults were enrolled in clinical trials, so efficacy could not be estimated in this age group. Nevertheless, the WHO is not recommending an upper age limit for the vaccine because data collected during subsequent use in multiple countries suggest the vaccine is likely to have a protective effect in older persons. The word likely is doing a lot of heavy lifting here. What happened to not cutting corners? What happened to safety and efficacy? Does it not apply to Chinese vaccines? 2 things could be happening here. 1, the WHO is delaying this on purpose. For what joy? Only they can explain. 2, Bharat Biotech has not offered complete data. What is the Indian government saying? The Health Ministry claims the vaccine data is fine. All this delay is just a procedural problem. Well, that delay has real-world consequences. And the most frustrating part is this, the lack of clarity. We don't know what data Bharat Biotech has submitted. We don't know what data the WHO wants. All we know is that millions of Indians are stuck in a limbo. They can't apply for visas. They can't apply for education abroad. We're not saying blindly approve Covaxin. We're talking about risk-benefit assessment because remember, this is emergency use listing. This is not licensing. For Chinese vaccines, the WHO used data beyond clinical trials. So the question is, do 118 million doses of Covaxin not count? Do approvals from 9 countries not count? There's a lot of ambiguity in this approval process. Come 3rd November, maybe Covaxin will end up with a green light, but this process and this lack of transparency must change. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.